Good morning, Mr. Norman, fellow students. Today we're talking about the last emperor, otherwise known as Zhihui the Huangdi. And today we'll be covering the Qing dynasty, which started in 1644 to 1911. Now, the Qing dynasty was officially the Great Qing, also the last imperial dynasty of China, which was established, as you know, 1644 to 1911. Today we'll be talking about 5 different topics. So government was the foundation of the country and ensured there was a fruitful and prosperous land, one that each citizen of China could be proud of. Secondly is religion. Religion which played a crucial role in all of white China. The Jade Emperor, for example, who was the king of all supreme beings, was considered akin to the Emperor of China, and as such, the Emperor of China was revered as a god. Culture. Culture was like a great tree, has great big roots that run deep in China. It's considered their way of life. Inventions stemming from gunpowder, a continuously shooting gun that could hold 28 bullets, and new forms of printing were making huge advancements at the time. Last but not least, the art and the architecture, which was incorporated with both religion and culture very heavily, as shown in the Forbidden Palace, which will be shown later.
China's Qing dynasty, also referred to as the Manchu dynasty, lasted from 1644 to 1912. The Qing system was headed by the emperor. It comprised of 6 ministries which ran by the inner and outer court, whose power flowed from the Forbidden City. The Qing dynasty reign was strict about its social structure, which dictated who has power over whom. This often led to abuses of power and plots to take down those who ruled over the people. The Chinese people were divided by their role in society. Many parents tried to get their children the best education so they could become scholar officials, one of the most prosperous social rankings at that time. They were still lower in rank than nobles and generals, but it was the most accessible social status for an average citizen. Peasants were at the bottom of the social structure, but even lower were slaves, where even slaves owned slaves. They would often become the subject of abuse and violence of the government officials and soldiers. Artists were more fortunate as they were highly respected during the Qing dynasty.
There were 3 major religions that shaped the many ideas and history of Dynasty Qing. Let's start with Taoism. Taoism was first developed in the 18th century. It mainly stressed on the cultivation of a good character, meaning an individual should become one with nature. For an instance, the yin and yang was created where everything in nature is believed to have balancing forces that are always equal. Next, Confucianism. Confucianism was developed by the teachings of Confucius, who was a philosopher born in 551 BC. It mainly focuses on respect, fairness, and politeness. On to the final one, Buddhism. Unlike the other beliefs, Buddhism is an actual religion that provides spiritual comfort to the Chinese mind. This teaching traveled to China through the trading routes of India. They believe in the rebirth of self, where a rebirth cycle is only complete when a person lives a prosperous life. They also believe in karma, where every actions come with consequences. Everything we do in future will reflect us back, whether we have been good or bad.
Culture during the Qing dynasty was influenced by Confucianism and the Manchu people. From beliefs to entertainment, they have shaped the Chinese culture as to what it is today. The food prepared were based on the traditional diet of the Manchu people and the remnants of the Han dietary. The cuisine uses the traditional Manchu staple foods of millet, broom-corn millet, soybean, peas, and corn. The Manchu cuisine is more wheat-based compared to the Han dietary. Meals were often served in Yangjin Hall, also known as Hall of Tranquility. The traditional dining for the emperor would be him dining by himself at the table. One of the entertainments during the Qing dynasty was of traditional Chinese opera. It was a combination of dancing, singing, and acting. It was a form of entertainment for both men and women, the young and the old, rich and poor. There were 5 types of traditional Chinese opera, namely Beijing opera, Yuju, Guangmei opera, Pingju, and Yu opera. Beijing opera was the most popular during the Qing dynasty.
For inventions, the Qing dynasty has contributed 4 things, which are printing, Yanhua, gunpowder, Huawei-Yao, Wardia, Changcheng, Chuangbei, and legalism, Fajiao. Firstly, let's focus on printing. It can be seen that woodblock printing had been invented since 200 years ago. Ever since that, China has experienced a significant growth in terms of literature and poetry. Next, gunpowder. Danzi was the creator of machine gun and the one who developed a gun that could hold up around 28 bullets. This has boosted up the inventions for military weapons such as creating bombs, mines, fireworks, and even rockets. Moving on, war gear. The Qing era had innovated the battle gear by creating stronger shields and sharper swords in order making it easier to defend themselves from the enemies. And lastly, legalism. The people of the Qing dynasty were also the one who invented the law. Basically, if you do wrong, you will get punished, and if you do right, you are respected. It's like the rules.
The Forbidden City is located in the heart of China, Beijing. It is one of 3 ancient palaces still standing in modern China and is the largest ancient palace in the world. Due to its cultural significance and its own unique beauty, it is extremely popular with both China and foreign tourists. Constructed based on the Book of Changes and Chinese traditional Confucian culture. One of the attractive parts of the palace is the roof. They have it in more than 10 kinds of roof, and the 10 kinds of roof include single eave hip roof, hip gable roof, and pyramidal hip roof. The Hall of Supreme Harmony in the city has the highest level of roof with 10 medical animals at each roof cornice, which shows superiority. These animals are characteristics in Chinese architecture.
In this scene, we have the concubines walking into the imperial courtroom, where the empress, the highest lady in all the court, has to choose a wife for the emperor. The royal advisor and the servant helps examine the candidates for the emperor's wife, and they go underneath intense scrutiny, from checking the nails, checking breaths, checking facial flaws, and most importantly, whether they are virgins. The servant then informs the empress who she thinks is the suitable candidate. The empress then goes over the concubines and have a look. Meanwhile, after the process is done, the candidates are selected and the rest are put in a harem of concubines in different rankings. There is a third, second ranking, and lastly, the chosen one, who will be the royal queen next to the emperor and make an heir to succeed the throne.